Hi YouTubers, it's Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you with the topic of NRA Bullseye Pistol Competition or NRA Bullseye Pistol Shooting. Now bullseye shooting happens to be the basis of all the pistol shooting sports, but we all know about IPSC and IDPA and Steel Challenge and Bianchi Cup because we've seen those on TV, and they're great spectator sports in shooting. And bullseye competition, unfortunately, doesn't have as much glamour, but it happens to be perhaps the most difficult pistol competition because it's all shot with one hand, offhand. And typically it's shot with three guns. You have a 22 caliber pistol, you have a centerfire pistol, and then you have the 45 caliber service pistol. So you got three guns. And each of the three guns will shoot 30 rounds. 10 rounds will be in slow fire, 10 rounds in time fire, and 10 rounds in rapid fire. So you're going to shoot 30 shots with each gun for a total of 90 shots. Now the slow fire is shot at 50 yards or at 25 with a smaller bullseye and a smaller 10 ring. That is very difficult, shooting one-handed at 50 yards, and you're shooting at a 8.5 inch bullseye, and the 10 ring is probably only like 2 inches across. So you get 10 minutes to shoot 10 shots, and that's the slow fire. If it's shot at 25 yards, then it's shot perhaps with this target, which is an official NRA 25 yard slow fire pistol target. And there's your 10 ring. Now that bullseye is 5.5 inches across, so it gives you an idea that that 10 ring is only like 1.5 inches across, or it's even less, it's maybe 1.25 inches across. So try hitting that 10 times at 25 yards, one-handed, offhand. Plenty of time to shoot the 10 shots to 10 minutes, but it's difficult. Then your time fire is shot in two 5-shot strings at 25 yards at this target. The same size bullseye, but the 10 ring's bigger, but then you only get 20 seconds to shoot the 5 shots. And then you repeat that in 20 seconds for another 5 shots for your 10 shots in the time fire. Now in the rapid fire, you get the 5-shot string, but instead of 20 seconds, you only get 10 seconds. And then you repeat that with another 5-shot string in 10 seconds. So you do that with a 22, that's 30 rounds with a 22, 10, 10, and 10, slow timed and rapid. Then you shoot 30 shots with a centerfire pistol, and then you shoot 30 shots with your 45 caliber service pistol. Total of 90 shots, and top score of 900 points. Now that's usually repeated 3 times for your big matches for a total of 2,700 points. But to give you an idea how difficult bullseye shooting is, one-handed, offhand, there has never been a perfect score shot in NRA bullseye pistol shooting. About the best that's shot is instead of the 2,700 points for a perfect score, it's in the 2,600 and plus points, which is pretty darn good shooting. So here are some guns that are used for NRA pistol bullseye competition. Now most of the time the pistols are sighted with red dot sights, but iron sights are useful or usable, and The only sights that are not allowed are the laser sights. Telescopic sights are not used very often because the problem with telescopic sights is the magnification also magnifies the wobble, making it actually very difficult to use. So red dot sights are very popular. So for 22, most competitors that are serious about shooting the NRA Bullseye will use a pistol like this one. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 41 22 caliber pistol. Very fine sights used for NRA bullseye shooting. Now the grips are custom grips with a palm support, not loaded. So this is used to shoot the slow fire, the timed, and the rapid with one hand. Now, centerfire pistol can be shot with a revolver or an automatic pistol, and a semi-customized Colt Python or a officer's model match or a fine Smith & Wesson K38. These are popular guns for use in NRA bullseye shooting for the centerfire requirement. So if you shoot a revolver well, you might want to use a revolver for the centerfire requirement. And again, that would be 50 yards one-handed, offhand, for timed, and then time for the slow fire rather, the 50 yards, and then one-handed at 25 yards for the timed, and then 25 yards for the rapid with 10 seconds for 5 shots. Quite challenging. Finally, the 45 caliber 1911 service pistol part of the competition, and it's usually shot with a customized 1911 with usually very good sights or a red dot, and accurized to be able to hold a 2.5 inch group at 50 yards with a fine trigger pull. And again, it's shot offhand. Again, not loaded. So once you complete the course of fire with all 3 guns, that is NRA bullseye competition. And by the way, that's where this case, the bullseye shooting case, is very popular for use with bullseye shooters, because a spotting scope can be mounted on this so that when a slow fire shot is fired at 50 yards, then the competitor looks through the scope to see where the shot hit. And that's important because that shooter is going to call the shot, and if the shot hits a little bit to one side or another, it could be because of conditions or some slight problem. If he calls the shot well, he can actually make a little adjustment, either in his mind or actual adjustment in the sights, so that he can bring it into the 10 ring. So YouTubers, what does that mean for us? We may never shoot in our NRA bullseye competition, but it's challenging enough to go to the range and do the one-handed technique, to discipline ourselves to hit bullseyes or hit 10 rings, trying at 10 yards first or 12 yards, and then gradually going to 25 yards, and then graduating to the 50-yard challenge. Because if we're good bullseye shooters and we can shoot offhand with one hand, It means that we can shoot our pistol any way, or any other way, because the one-handed offhand is the most difficult way to shoot. And if we can shoot that way, we can shoot any way. So that's what makes us good pistol shooters. In fact, if you go to any of these IPSC or IDPA or Steel Challenge or Bianchi Cup, all these professional shooters, they are all excellent bullseye shooters. They started by shooting bullseyes because you learn your trigger squeeze, your sight picture, your stance, your breath control, all those things you learn shooting bullseye, and that's the basis for all the other shooting sports. Now, all the professional shooters may not do much competing. You won't see them at Camp Perry shooting national matches because unfortunately there's a lot of prestige there, but there's not a lot of money. So the professional shooters have to shoot not only for their own income, but because they are representing companies and their sponsors, and the most exposure they get are shooting the other matches because that's where all the spectators go. Not too many spectators go to Camp Perry every year. So YouTubers, this is only a glimpse at NRA Bullseye Shooting. There's more information available. You can get the rules online and see all there is to it. And we don't have to really get into it formally, but the challenge is there. The one-handed, offhand shooting. Try it at 10 or 12 yards first and see how difficult it is. And if you really work at it, your shooting will improve. Fortune Cookie 45LC. We'll see you again another time.